Adventurers, in this video we cover combat rounds. Not to be confused with game turns, combat rounds make up the building blocks of HEXplore It's combat system. A single combat can last multiple rounds and ends when either all opponents are dead or all heroes are dead. Opponents who have special vitals like Influence or Outlast, or opponents who can be bribed, may cause combat to resolve in a non-standard fashion. We won't be focusing on these in this video. Let's take a look at how standard combat resolves. The first thing you'll do when you face an opponent is to record their vitals on the battle mat, affecting those vitals if necessary based on in-game effects such as the game difficulty. Let's say we have two heroes in the game. One is the priest and the other is the stormcaller. In this example, our heroes are facing the young dragon on the easy setting. In this scenario, the young dragon begins combat with 32 health and 30 energy. We record those totals on the battle mat. The left side is reserved for health and the right side for energy. At the bottom, you can record any favorite opponent or piercing damage, which is damage that cannot be reduced by the opponent. All damage the opponent suffers will be recorded in one of these sections. Each combat round is resolved in 3 phases. They are the declaration phase, the opponent phase, and the resolution phase. During the declaration phase, each hero in the group chooses one of the 4 abilities to use this round. They are Attack, Defend, First Mastery, and Second Mastery. If you choose Attack, you'll deal a number of damage to your opponent's vitals equal to your rank. You'll find icons next to your attack ability that shows which vitals you can affect. Looking at our heroes, they may only target the opponent's health, but some roles can affect both health and energy, and even others that can affect other vitals. If you choose Defend, you'll reduce each incoming attack targeting you by your Defend rank. For instance, if the Stormcaller suffers 2 attacks in a round, each would be reduced by 4. While defending, you may also use an item on yourself or an ally, or you may give an item to another ally. Your masteries are unique to each role and generally require energy to use. If you choose one of your masteries this round, you'll immediately deduct the energy required to use it. If a mastery specifies the hero must choose a target, that target does not have to be selected in this phase. An example is if a mastery can heal a target, or if a mastery blocks damage a target would receive, you'll simply say you're healing or blocking this round. You'll choose the target for your action later. If any of the heroes have favorite opponent with the opponent you're facing, those heroes will roll their favorite opponent die or dice during the declaration phase. In this example, the priest has magical nature favorite opponent. We'll roll the 6-sided die and we'll record the damage in the favorite opponent section. Let's say we roll a 4. When you declare your action to the group, you will specify the ability title and any damage you're dealing. In this example, the Stormcaller might say, I'm using Scorch to deal 12 health damage, and the young dragon is burned. The priest might say, I'm using Channeling. Because this mastery specifies the hero must choose a target, we can wait to see how the priest is using Channeling until the resolution phase. Moving on to the opponent phase. In a standard combat, each opponent the group faces will roll a die and perform the equivalent action. Opponents have an action key to distinguish which die to use and which ability the result triggers. Encounters generally have 3 combat options, while bosses have 6. In this example, let's suppose we roll a 2 on the 6-sided die. The young dragon would be performing its first action. We see this as a group action, which affects health, and that the value is 5, increased by 1 because of the difficulty level. So each hero and any of their allies, if there are any, would suffer 6 health damage. We also see this action provides a defend value of 10, meaning that each incoming attack the dragon would suffer is reduced by 10 points. If the action specifies single, dual, or triple targets, these attacks are considered individual attacks instead of group attacks. Each group member, including the heroes and their allies, would roll a single 10-sided die, and the character with the highest result would become the target of that particular attack. In the case of dual or triple target attacks, you'll simply take the next highest result and then the next highest result after that. Okay, now we're moving into the resolution phase. All damage, healing, and other effects resolves both for the heroes and their opponents during this phase. Any hero whose action requires a target can specify them now. In this case, the priest declares he's using channeling to heal, because he knows his harm effect would not be enough to overcome the opponent's defend value. He would die from the damage coming in this round, so he declares himself as the target for his heal. After we resolve the damage and effects, our cards would look like this. After the 3 phases of the combat round are resolved, our opponent is still alive, so we'll advance to a new round of combat. In our example, the heroes barely touch the young dragon, but the Stormcaller has set up for a big attack, and the priest does have favored opponent. Good luck, you two! This concludes the synopsis of a typical combat round. Thanks for watching.